Hey everyone, thank you for being with us once again. Phil McMillan here at Ocean Church, executive pastor, and it's been such a privilege these last couple sessions to be able to talk through managing your financial health. And we're going to do that again today. I have with me two very special people, two very good friends and people that I've known for several years, but also people that are movers and shakers in our community, if you will, and give so much of themselves in so many different ways and arenas. Juan and Angela Hernandez, thank you guys.
Thank you, Pastor Phil. It's our pleasure to be here with you.
So good to have you guys here. Angela has been in the banking industry for 23 years. We were just you were calculating the years before and thinking about how long it's been. So you've been around finances and you've been around money the majority of your adult life and the majority of your adult career. And Juan is currently a realtor, but has helped people in the area of personal finance for many years, even back to really what we were talking about it before in 2008 when that recession happened. That really kicked you in a certain direction, and even getting certain things in your life in order, and then helping others do the same. So I want to pose a couple questions to you guys. Really, what I would love for kind of our discussion to initially address is the opportunities that are available. So much of the discussion and what we talk about in the area of finances right now is unemployment at an all-time high. 15% of Americans are unemployed. We talk about industries that are shrinking, and that's all happening, and that's a reality. But still, even in that, there are opportunities that are available. So let me start. I mentioned, Juan, you guys kind of getting kicked into this direction is specifically and not just getting your own personal finances in order, but helping others do the same. So take me back to 2008, take me back to that recession and what was going on and what maybe some of the things you initially learned.
Yeah, well, back in 2008, my wife and I, we were pretty much both working in the same field. She was working in the banking industry doing mortgages, and I was a realtor as well back then. So we were directly impacted by the market crash. So,
but even before then, it was funny because God had already started to work. He was going to be teaching us these great lessons, and He had prepared the way. Even before, it collapsed, God asked me to resign. And it was like crazy because, why would I quit my job? And I had just had a baby, and it was like I felt God telling me that it was the second time around to enjoy, that He was going to be doing something both in our hearts, in our family, that we needed to start from scratch, basically, to learn to trust.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where our ministry started, basically, what God really wanted to teach us. So before it even collapsed, God had started with us. And the first thing He took us was in one of those amazing Bible studies about stewardship, and that's really when we really started to feel it, because we had to sit down in the middle of this crisis without a job. He didn't have a job, I didn't have a job, and we had to do a budget. And it was scary to sit down, and that's why we can relate to so many people nowadays, because they have to sit down and do a budget. How do you start a budget at negative? We were negative $20,000 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now I think about it, it's
goodness.
Only God would really speak to you and allow you to just sit down and listen and learn. And we started just writing out, okay, we were eating out. It was $1,000 a month, in eat out. Okay, that's the first one we had to cut. We sat down and did, for example, how much we were spending in electric bill. That month we had family over, and it was $600 a month on electricity. And it's wait a minute. This is something else that we can cut.
Right.
So many little things that if we just sit down and do what God, all the great resources that are available, and you learn from them, and you take the time to just soak it in, and one step at a time, God is going to show you that following step. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah. That's so good to hear your testimony, really. And we did a session with another individual, Tom Lastrom, that talked about just budgeting and assessing your expenses and assessing your lifestyle. And so we talk quite a bit about assessing your expenses, but now assessing your income.
Exactly. So we needed to start working on a budget, and there were still bills coming in and things that we needed to pay, and we had no money coming in. So we needed to find ways to pay those bills and to generate income. So that's when God started showing us, things that we could get rid of. Like technology has changed a lot since back in 2008. So back then, our solution was to do a garage sale.
Yeah.
Okay, let's find those things that we have that are expensive,
What can we sell
that are
to-
not a need,
Right.
and that we can get rid of, so that we can generate that income, so we can cover our expenses.
Right.
So, but nowadays there are amazing tools and amazing applications that we can use. Just to name a few, we
Yeah.
have like the Let Go. That's
Let
a
Go
great
app, yeah.
application. Yeah. The other one is
Facebook.
Offer Up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife posts a lot of things in
Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook
Exactly.
Marketplace. Yeah. So you say that there is certain things that you can do immediately to start to receive income, because some people that are watching this, maybe they've been working in a certain industry for 20 years and either the industry is shrinking or there's just no opportunity available right now, but they still they still need to make money. So that's one thing that you're saying that they can
Absolutely.
do. What about some other opportunities that might exist for like additional income and bringing in having another stream of income?
As my husband mentioned, the market has changed so much. And now we have, especially during this crisis, people don't want to go out. They don't want to do their
Right.
grocery shopping. They don't want to be out maybe getting the food. How about, the people that can and are healthy enough to be out there can register for Instacart, Postmates, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I know my son, who's 21, his first job was with Uber Eats in Miami, and he was bringing in like $400 a month. I mean, a week, which
Yeah.
it's a lot. When you add that a month, it's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
a really young guy making a lot of money plus tips. I mean, it does help.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was not his long-time career. He got,
Right.
out of it as soon as he found a good job, but it's something that you can get by now.
Yeah. And I think that's
And
the
it's
hope.
instant.
That's the hope, right, for people, is that there is it's finding the reality of it versus what's ideal. Well, an
Correct.
ideal in a perfect world, you're able to roll back into another job just like you had. But what's real is that you have real need that needs to be met.
Correct.
So even for people that are watching, it's an adjustment of expectation. For many of us, of maybe if you got pulled back and you were full-time and went part-time, or just lost your job or were furloughed, that there are some things that you may need to just do temporarily.
Correct.
Doesn't mean you're going to do
Correct.
it forever.
And one of the things that we learned when we went through our crisis is that God is a God of seasons. So this is a season. This is not going to last forever.
forever. That's
So
right.
right now, maybe we need to make sacrifices.
Yeah, that's
But we have to understand that this is for a season, and that season is going to come to pass.
That's
Okay,
so good.
and one of the other things that we feel like sharing with everybody is that ask God what He's trying to show you, because
Right.
whenever we go through a season like this, where there's need, where we feel uncomfortable, it's because God is really trying to show us something, and try to grasp what He's trying to tell you and what He wants you to learn. So that's another thing that is very important for people to keep in mind.
That's good.
And it's also good to know that there are different opportunities. Back in 2008, I was doing nothing because I was home taking care of a baby. But I had another opportunity to maybe do translations. I was doing translations for attorneys. I also became a notary, and I was even doing weddings. I would get paid $100, $200 for just showing up for 20 minutes. So, little things like that, we saw God's hands in everything, and really it just like brought in what we needed for that week.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because God will just if you're faithful and you just take that step, God will open that following door.
And using what God's given you already.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity, a statement I've said in different arenas, and for those of you that are watching, you've maybe have heard me say it already, but it's something that's such a great thought, is that every problem is an opportunity in disguise.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that there is, in this problem of job loss or being furloughed or having a pay cut, that there is opportunity in that, and that even that God would that He's given you gifts that maybe have been dormant. He's given you an ability to do different abilities that has been maybe limited just because you've just been using it in that particular vocation or
Correct.
career.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to make sure we hit on, you guys have been great just teachers, and you guys have helped people on a financial coaching level. But then also, as it relates to the book there that's right in front of you, The Blessed Life. One of the things that's important when we're assessing our financial health is, the scripture verse I think about is when Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be
Yes.
also. So as finances is on everybody's mind, and I've also heard it said that finances touch every area of your life. Why is it so important, even especially in this season, for people that are watching that maybe are believers and aren't believers, tithers and not tithers? Why is it so important to assess your relationship with God as it relates to finances?
I mean, one of the gifts and one of the books that God sent to us when we went through the crisis back in 2008 was this book, The Blessed Life. And I encourage everybody to read it, especially during this time, because like you were saying, where your heart is, there your treasure is. For us, I mean, even though before the crisis, God was always first in our lives and we were faithful with our tithes and everything, it was easy for us because we had income coming in.
Right.
But when we had nothing coming in, being faithful with the little that we had, it wasn't
It's
as
hard.
easy as it was before.
Right, sure.
So, but it was something that this book helped us with a lot and tremendously, because that helped us stay faithful with God, and we were able to see the promises and the miracles left and right going on in our lives on a daily basis.
Wow.
That's when, in that time, we get to know God as our provider, and He was always there. I mean, there wasn't a day that we were really like struggling to cover our needs, which were food, clothes, and a roof above our heads. So those needs were always provided, and we saw God's faithfulness, but it was key for us to remain faithful with Him as well during that time.
That's so good. So having lived in a place of having a $20,000 per month deficit and being able to see God in that, and now you're some 12, 13 years removed from that season, what would you encourage to the person that is going through a difficult time, but then also the person that things are great, things are okay, but just some good principles to share with somebody that's watching?
So the main things that I can take away from that season and that I learned basically to me was realizing that God is the owner of everything. He's the one that even gives us the health to have a job. He's the one that even opens that door so we could get that job interview or whatever, that salary or that contract, or it's recognizing that it's not us. Yes, God definitely deposits the gifts, but not only does He deposit the gift, He definitely opens up the opportunity of where He needs you to be, and realizing that it's all because of Him. It's being able to get up every day and being able to breathe now with this whole pandemic. This is a gift. Being healthy is a gift, and recognizing that it's because of God's grace that we're here. Knowing also that we have to be content in every situation. We've been in that situation where we cried every night because we didn't know how we were going to feed our kids, but God came through. People will knock on our doors and bring us rent payments or bring us the milk that month, and it was also an opportunity to learn how to receive. Sometimes we're so used to giving and we don't know when God definitely wants to bless us. So we definitely learned so many lessons that God wanted to teach us that were definitely going to be that stronghold for a time like this. And the main thing is contentment. I mean, it's understanding that we're going to be happy, we're going to be well, no matter the season that we're in, as long as we're holding on to the one that created the heavens and the earth, the one that takes care of us, that provides to us. Like my husband mentioned before, He gives us a roof, He gives us the food, and He gives us, the health to be able to enjoy every blessing that He provides to us. So who's ever out there, just know that this is your time, your one-on-one with God. I'll never forget my one-on-ones with God, because sometimes we're so busy that we don't take time to really soak it in. And now, during that time, I know it was God was my everything. Just being able to just get up every day. It's I had to ask Him to give me the strength. So if you're in that season, just make God your stronghold. Make God the one that you go to for everything, and you'll see that He'll give you that one step to take every single day, and He'll open doors that you'll never expect it to be open.
Yeah, that's such a key part, is that look for the opportunities that the Lord is wanting to open up. You were talking, and I had a thought, and I heard a pastor say this. When he said it, I was like, boom, thinking about the seasons where like, Lord, help me with my finances. Lord, I need help with this. And he said, many times it's not a financial problem that you're struggling with, but an identity problem. Because you don't recognize what the Lord desires to give you and who you are as a son and a daughter.
Yeah.
So at times what happens is so when I think about that thought of an identity problem versus a financial problem, it's maybe because we have placed greater value on goods and status than above, just being a son and a daughter and resting in the promises of God and knowing that that He'll provide for us and that we need to be content in that. So I think that's such a great principle of learning to be content in all situations, like Paul said. As I kind of turn the corner here, and we have a couple minutes left, one of the things that I've wanted to do with this, or that we've wanted to do with this series, Managing Your Financial Health, is to give some practical tips. Like, I love hearing your testimony, and I love the idea of going and doing DoorDash or Uber Eats and all that, and I love those ideas, but really, what are some other tangible steps that I can take if I'm struggling with my finances and I want to look for employment opportunities, but I don't even know where to start? What would you guys?
Well, one of the things that we encourage everybody to do is just to go to your local news websites, for example, and you can find their information about who's hiring, and you can find links over there that can direct you exactly to those places that are hiring people right now. For people that are local to the area of Ocean Church, there's winknews.com that you can go there. They have a link there for places that are hiring right now, and they update it pretty much on a daily basis. So that's a good source for people that are looking for employment right now.
They even have virtual job fairs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you can get your own interview right there. If you sign up, somebody will call you back and stuff like that. So
Yes.
take advantage of these resources. It's as simple as going to Google and doing a search. Local jobs, Naples or Restaurant or wherever.
Yeah, even just a Google search.
Just a Google search.
And even I thought, because I did this Google search earlier today, was fastest growing industries in 2020. Because things are changing. We alluded to it earlier. Technology is changing. Opportunities are changing. And that's good to understand, even as you try to now, for some people, they're in an industry that's shrinking. And yes, I'll do some different things to supplement my income now, but to understand what the long-term trajectory of our economy looks like even. What does the next 10, 20 years look like in terms of opportunities? Maybe it is not so much in oil production or whatever it is. Maybe it's in video conferencing software. I saw that as one of the top, so positioning yourself now and taking advantage, even some opportunities to educate yourself, to get some information. So as we wrap up, some of you guys are looking for more. You have a specific situation. One of the aspects of managing your financial health as a church community that we wanted to do to make available for you is financial coaching. And it's not necessarily investment advice or tax advice or anything like that, but just another ear and a voice of wisdom and discernment for you that can kind of help walk with you in this difficult season. So if that's you, I would encourage you, text the word finances to the phone number 239-309-2929. And we have great people like Juan and Angela and others that are ready to whether it's to set up a video call or a phone call or an email and start communicating with you as you kind of walk through this season. Be sure to go to our website and check out our website. We have continual resources that we're putting out in this area. That's oceanchurch.com. Again, Juan and Angela, thank you guys so much.
Thank you
for spending some time with us. And look forward to seeing all that God does through your ministry. Again, the book there, The Blessed Life by Robert Morris. If you're interested in it, go to Amazon. You can download it. You can get everything you need from Amazon. And but thank you again for spending some time with us. God bless you.